Only who can prevent forest fires? You pressed U, referring to me. That is incorrect. The correct answer is you.
Do you ever just waltz upon to something that's like so absolutely bizarre that you have to like share it with people so that way you know that what you experienced wasn't hallucination? That was me when I went on a 2012 ELCA youth group trip with my church to like help down in New Orleans. I looked around and I was just like, everybody knows that it's going to hurricane, right? And it kind of did. So we did no Jesus church saving that day, that week. Oh, but that's a topic for another day. Today, we are going to be looking at a particularly obscure Rankin Bass animated special from the 1960s called The Ballad of Smokey the Bear, which, in case you didn't know, tells the secret origins of Smokey the Bear. Now, like a lot of the Rankin Bass specials, this one has a lot of charm in its imperfections, and it's just like overall so strange that it's no wonder that this one isn't remembered as well as their Christmas specials or as their just like their specials in general of their like greater canon. I'm doing a lot of arm acting right now, like wax on, wax off, Daniel. I need to knock that off. But before we get into that, I just want to say hello. Hello, any old subscribers. Hello to any new subscribers, any new viewers. Welcome. Welcome to this hodgepodge YouTube channel where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. Today, as I said, we are looking at a Rankin Bass stop motion animated special. But really, the good thing about this channel is that there is anything that I could be talking about if you request it in the comments and I find it interesting, or things that I just pluck out of my wee little brain. We are well on our way to 2,200 subscribers, so I'm thinking before the end of the year, I'd like to see that as the number. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. So, in order to do that, if you want to give this video a good like, hit the subscription notification if you want to see more stuff like this, because I am always game to do that. Okay, enough messing around, let's get back to the musings.
The General Electric Fantasy Hour.
Okay, so already this is not boding well, because the last time we took a little jaunt down memory lane with General Electric, they tried to sell things to us by not selling things to us. So here's hoping that this animated special is not a long advertisement for electric appliances. Okay, so this must be our first glimpse of Smokey the Bear. Okay, so a few notes. No hat. And he is noticeably more portly than I remember seeing him. He has more of a beer belly than, you know, like the barrel-chested man bear that we see him as daily. I kind of like that version of Smokey the Bear. I like that kind of bear. Do with that information what you will.
Oh, a body can't get a decent winter's sleep in this forest anymore.
Yes, Big Bear. Isn't it the truth?
What's the matter, Papa? Oh, that noise woke us up.
Okay, so these little dildos are the reason, they are the impetus for this story being told. And apparently, I looked on IMDb, which there's very not a lot of information about the special, but I looked on IMDb, and apparently this bear is not Smokey the Bear, but it's Smokey the Bear's brother. And then these two abominations are Smokey the Bear's niece and nephew.
A wildcat and a fox were fighting for their breakfast. I chased them away. They woke up the whole forest.
Okay, so a shot like that is definitely one of the more impressive elements of this special. Videocraft, as they were known back then before they were known as like the Rankin Bass company, is very impressive in their use of like storyboarding and their stop motion model animation. And seeing it on full display here in one of their like earlier specials, this one has some very dynamic lighting and some very like cool fire and smoke effects. And so the craft on display is quite impressive.
What could spoil a beautiful day like today?
do you want the list or?
Smoke.
Okay, so apparently the answer is smoke, but like on any given day, if that were to like spoil my day when I work at Target, then like everybody that came in reeking of marijuana would just like send me into a downward spiral. But basically, I'm like, you go, dude. I'm glad you came here while you were high as balls.
There's a fire breaking out somewhere. I can almost feel it.
It's rimming my ass cheeks like at that gay circuit party I attended last week. So warm. Alright, now we get our first glimpse of Smokey the Bear. Look at him. Look how thick his arms are. Yeah, I'm not into it anymore.
Can we come out now? Is it okay if we come out?
Children, it's 2021. You can do and identify as whatever you want. Some kids always asking for permission. It's probably that grade school implant of theirs always having to ask if they can go to the bathroom. Can I go to the bathroom? Can I come out to my friends? Can I please ask Brendan to stop shoving that ruler up his ass? So now we head into our main title song, which debatably is one of the catchier ones in the entirety of the film, which is good because it's the first impression of the songwriters and the lyricists, so that it bodes well. It bodes really, really well.
Always beware, always put out each glare, says your friend, my friend, Smokey the Bear.
Smokey started out by being just a normal bear. Young and happy, playing games, he never had a care.
Although this framing device does have me wondering a little bit whether this bear, Smokey the Bear's brother, actually like wrote the entire like score and book for like this musical adventure and then just needed to like try it out on somebody, and so he like looked like the lowest common denominator and he's just like, yeah, these stupid kids will listen to anything for an hour. And then he just decided to put on a show for them. And then they gave him no notes. And they're like, okay, I think this is good enough to go on TV. And he's like, okay. Then he pitched it to NBC. And they were like, yeah, well, we'll drop this off at like 6 a.m. somewhere. And so like nobody's going to be able to see it. But you can record it if you want. We'll give you the master reel. Just make sure that you don't lose it in that fire. Totally hoping that they would like lose it in the fire. And then he didn't, and it survives to this day, so we can suffer through it. Okay, so as you can see, the forest is the victim of some sort of nuclear fallout.
Hey!
Ow, step bear, that really hurt. Stop it! I do want to preface this with, this is probably one of the horniest Rankin Bass specials that I have ever watched. I'll be pointing out moments as we go, but like, if this is any indication, we're in for a time.
I never saw a stone move before.
Look, that's no stone. Can't you see that's a turtle?
No, Big Bear, your brother is right. I'm a talking stone.
Oh, yes. I love this turtle. This turtle, if this were like, if we were to make like a live action remake, I would want to be this sassy gay turtle with all of the one-liners.
I just want to play with him.
Okay, so now we've reached our second song, and something that's really weird about this special in particular is that almost none of the songs are like full songs, but they're like, they're framed like reprises of songs that we should have like heard like the full song earlier, because they're all so short. This one is probably the shortest of the bunch. It's like a verse and then a chorus, and that's it. But the chorus is like kind of banging.
Tell it to a turtle.
Tell it to a turtle.
And it won't get around very fast. Tell it to a turtle.
Yep.
So again, like going with like the nuclear fallout angle, the size of these bees relative to, at this point in time, Sonny the bear, they are huge. They are like this big. Do you remember the killer bees from like last year? I think these are them. Videocraft was just like so ahead of the curve in portraying all of these 2020 apocalyptic creatures and events.
That day started innocently enough, with fun and games and Smokey getting into these little scrapes. It was all part of growing up, you see.
But what was the terrible thing that happened to him, Pop?
I want to know the trauma. Give me the trauma, says this little bear. He'd make a good journalist.
How does that feel? Better? Bad bees. What's the matter?
Subscribe to their OnlyFans for only $4.99 a month. I want to put a disclaimer. I do not condone monetizing minors for money.
More twigs. Hurry.
Darling, look at what I found. Some pretty red berries.
Good grief, Bee. We're building a dam.
Joe, honey, you never have time for anything but that old dam. I think you love that dam.
What in the Tales from the Okefenokee? Where did that berry disappear to? Like Upper Hooch or something? What the hell?
Why, sugar, all we need is just a cozy little dam for two.
There won't always be just us two, dear. Someday there'll be little beavers.
Not if you don't pay a little more attention to me.
I do want to say though, I really do enjoy these beaver characters, even though they are like pretty like not relevant to the rest of the story, but their banter and the missus has a song later. I really do enjoy their chemistry.
Oh, Killjoy.
Well, maybe we'd better not.
Oh, don't pay any attention to him.
Delilah, I have a feeling you're leading me into a lot of trouble.
All right, mic 2 on, orc extra, go.
Delilah, you're leading me on, Delilah. Never mind, dear. I'll help you with the mud packing tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, dear. We can start again tomorrow.
Why wait until tomorrow? Have you forgotten what we learned at Beaver School? Never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Hand me some sticks.
All right, so the missus is now using her nuclear fallout powers to bring her husband all of these sticks at super turbo speed. God, whatever's in that water, how can I get some? I just need to be more productive. I know I've been stuck inside like during this quarantine for a year, so like any bit of this like supercharged water would be great. Or you know, maybe we're all just being fooled and this is actually just a pool of like Gatorade or something. Gatorade is the elixir of productivity. Okay, so now we actually get to the moment, the defining moment that gave Smokey the Bear his name. He's just walking through the woods and then all of a sudden, disaster.
He didn't know what it was at first, but he didn't like it. What he was sniffing was smoke. I realized that only a miracle could save Smokey.
See, now something like that is actually like pretty cool, like actual like fire effects that are like not stop motion fire, but like fire in conjunction with like the models is like cool filmmaking. I am just amazed at like the practical effects in this. Sonny, where are you? Oh my god. Okay, him like clinging to that very tall tree is very reminiscent of a We Bare Bears episode, but also like I kind of feel bad for this little f***er. Oh my god. They like modeled him in such a way that his like face is adorable, and like him being scared actually has me feeling like very bad for him. Maybe it's just because I'm such an empath.
All right now, Sonny. It's all right. The fire's gone now. It singed your fur a little, I see. Hey. You smell old Smokey. Guess we'll have to call you Smokey after this.
Okay, so that's the moment. That is how we got such an iconic character's name. Big Brother was basically just like, you know what would really, really be a catchy name? If we named you after your trauma. You know, the last person I did that to, and why I'm so much older than you, was your big brother, Touchy the Bear. But then he decided to jump off a cliff. Was that joke too dark, and will that go into the final cut? We will see. We will see.
When we got back to the cave, another terrible blow fell. Mom wasn't there. She had gone out looking for Smokey and was lost in the fire. Well, All that happened a long time ago.
Oh my god, he's just totally gonna like wipe over the fact that Mom is now dead. Just like I'm gonna do right now, because she was not important to the story.
And now you know how Smokey got his name. He was such a frightened little bear that for a long, long time after that fire, I couldn't even get him to leave the cave. Any loud noise frightened him. And of course, the thing that terrified him most was fire.
He isn't that way now, Pop.
He talks to everyone, and everyone loves him.
And he isn't afraid of anything.
Yes, and it's a strange and wonderful story. How he changed from a frightened, lonely little cub to what he is now.
This is the ballad of Smokey the Bear.
Okay, alright, so that was a cute little short. Thank you, Rankin Bass, for like that nice origin story. So now we can... Oh. Okay. So I'm curious to know as to why there are 32 minutes left in this special when we already found out how Smokey got his name and that he's no longer like a scared cub. What else is there to tell? I'm nervous.
Look! I never saw any tracks like these before. Wonder what it is.
So they end up finding these tracks that don't smell very well and also just like totally reek of otherness. I have thoughts in my head about where this plot could go, but we'll watch this unfold together.
I'm afraid he's not very playful anymore.
Yes, I know. The fire.
Okay, so this is like very apt, especially to our times, because like if you replace fire with quarantine, it's basically like, how did you escape the quarantine? And you're like, well, I hunkered down at my house. And like some people have witnessed people who have died because of this quarantine, or in this case, the fire. So like, I think I accidentally chose something that was a little more relevant than I thought it was. Maybe we shouldn't just poke at people's trauma. This message has been brought to you by liberal indoctrination. So the mystery for the middle part of this movie, which really does take up like the better chunk of the special, is what do these tracks belong to? Like what creature could this possibly belong to? And it also kind of shifts into like an environmental message. So my guess is humans. But if we look at those tracks, they don't really look like human feet or shoes. So my guess is humans wearing stilts with impressions that look like that. We'll see if I'm wrong. We'll see.
What's the rush? Let's wait and see what happens.
Now, remember what you always say about putting off for tomorrow what you can do today. Don't wait, tomorrow may be too late.
So Mrs. Beaver has this song to her husband, like referring to the advice that he gave her earlier in the movie, and it's set to this like calypso number that I like really enjoy, but it does not move the plot along at all like any song in a musical should. But I like it anyway, and here's the chorus.
Don't wait, tomorrow may be too late. Don't dally along the way.
And now we finally get a glimpse of this creature that has been making all of these tracks around the forest and has been like terrorizing the rest of the animals. And we're gonna see if it's my human on stilts guess. We're gonna see if that's correct. So I was wildly off base. It's a gorilla that escaped from a place. This was a bizarre choice as far as I'm aware, but at least we aren't human blaming like so many of these stories like to do. Yeah, let's just see where this goes. So the animals host an indignation meeting and they all decide that they are going to be setting traps for the gorilla in order to make him stop doing the bad things to the forest, which now include polluting the river, their main source of water.
We've got to get together against the common foe.
All together, we can weather any single thing.
Us during the 2016 election, like right after Donald Trump was elected. Oh, times were simpler then. The turtle like leads the group over to these stones that he carved like ages ago, and then like after all of these music and dance rehearsals, he's like, okay, I just want you guys to like see these props that I made for this little musical number that I just drew up yesterday. Here they are. Okay, at this point there's like 15 minutes left, and I just really I don't care. So we're gonna fast forward through some things. The gorilla thwarts all of their traps in like really kind of funny ways, but not funny enough that it's like a haha. It's more like a. So then Smokey finds himself out late at night by himself. So Smokey has this revelation later that he's just like, the world would be nothing without trees, and so suddenly he just decides to like rip out his trauma and just throw it to the wind in order to help defeat this gorilla. But like any good character arc, we have to close with the thing that initially traumatized their protagonist. So the cabin starts on fire, and Smokey has to help put it out.
Here, grab some of these containers and get to work. Everybody's got to pitch in.
Okay, so they help the gorilla out of the embers, all of the charred ruins of his cabin, and then the creatures are like, hooray, we're taking him back to the zoo, which basically is just like, yay, we're taking the previously captive animal back to his captivity. Meanwhile, they all get to live freely because they are forest creatures and not zoo creatures. Although I think I'm pretty sure I've seen most of these creatures at a zoo. So, weird. Something I really do enjoy about these Rankin Bass specials is whenever they like have songs that have a chorus in them, I enjoy the sound of the chorus. There's just something in like these like 1960s and like 70s like stuff for kids that like goes unmatched in terms of sound. I don't know, the chords that like the musicians use just seem very like calming and comforting and just very like cool sounding to me. I don't know. I'm just very nostalgic for like that kind of sound, I guess.
Just believe it, and you'll find it so.
Okay, so Smokey has suddenly become Carrie White all of a sudden, moving that mountain with just one whoosh of his finger. Oh, we're almost to the end. It's almost done.
They made him chief animal forest ranger. It was quite a ceremony.
Here, what's all the excitement?
We're going berry picking. Yep, and I know where there's a honey tree. Oh, goody!
Didn't I just tell you, Cubs, what happened to your Uncle Smokey first time he found a honey tree? A honey tree.
Some things they've got to learn for themselves.
Isn't it the truth, brother?
This is the ballad of Smokey the Bear.
Alright, so we are at the end. Thank goodness. Did I enjoy this special? Yes. But I didn't enjoy it for the same reasons that I enjoy something like The Year Without a Santa Claus or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It really is a story that I don't think needed telling. Could it have been crafted better? Yes. Are the props and the filmmaking on display very impressive for the time? Yes. Could some of the songs been more integral to telling the story? Yes. But it still has that Rankin Bass charm and a lot of nostalgic sounding music for me. So while it doesn't really rank up there with like the best of Rankin Bass, it sure definitely has that like rustic down and tumble feeling that those specials bring to you like every holiday, like every Christmas. And would I recommend watching it? Only if you're curious. I found it on YouTube, so you can go find it on YouTube yourself, please. There's a lot of other like rare Rankin Bass material on YouTube now available for our own enjoyment. Yeah. So if you liked this video, again, hit the like button, hit the subscription notification if you want to see more like this. Leave comments down below, recommendations on like maybe any other like Rankin Bass things that I should watch, or any movies or specials that you would like me to check out. I'd love to hear from you. So remember, go out there, stay sexy.